I've just got my hands on this fun set of Arrtx acrylic markers with brush nibs. As you can see, you've got nicely packaged. So I'll open it up. So beautifully packaged with a lovely lilac box. And as you can see, you get 60 of the different colours, including white and black. Got a little thank you note. And then you get your trays of markers, which have numbers on the caps. Shake well before use. And then we have this little brush nib. So I prefer the trays. You can see all the colours. You get quite a selection. It looks like there's lots of mid-tones, a few lights, a few darks. It's a good colour selection. Or what I might do is I might quickly swatch these out and see how we go from there. So they're fun little markers. I love the brush nibs. You can go thick and thin. You got to shake them well to get all the ink in there. As you can see your ink cartridge in there, and then this shows you through these little smiley faces how much ink you've got left. Well, that's a pretty broad range of swatches. I'm excited to play with them a little bit more and see what else we can do. So they're a fun little marker. They feel good in the hand. I love the colour selection. You can see through these little smiley faces how much ink you've got left. It's a good idea to shake them with the lid on, otherwise you get little dots. You can do really thin lines, you can do medium lines, you can do really thick lines. You can do a combination. You can sort of blend them. And as you can see, once it's dry, you can go over it because it's acrylic. So it's got some of the qualities of paint. You can sort of do some blends and some fun things. I imagine you can do some really lovely. And because it dries so quickly, and then if you think you've made a mistake, you can just go over it. You can just keep layering colours on top, and it should all work out beautifully. Maybe it doesn't dry as quick as I thought there. So let's try it on some black paper. All right, guys, I'm just going to take these new markers for a run now. I'm going to use it on my Tiny Tales colouring pocketbook, which I've just released. I'm going to use it on this page. 10 Pinkish Prawns are dancing on the barbecue. I just think those vibrant pinks will look great here. And it'll be fun to see how these markers react to a colouring situation. So let's have a look. First of all, let's maybe look at those flames around the outside. So I've got bright colours here. I think I might go with some sort of like a T133 and T144, maybe even a bright like a T12. So the fun thing with these brush nibs is you can quite happily get some detail happening. And my T144. Let's see what happens when I mix it, when it's wet. And the fun thing about these is that once they're dry and you go over them, they're opaque, so you can just keep adding colour on top of colour. So you can't really make a mistake. It takes all the pressure off. All right, this is a colour called T234. It's a little bit more red, reddy orange. I just want to add a little bit of that into the flames. I'm just going to bring back that T12 because I want to add in just a little bit of that yellow on the top of these little flames. All right, let's play with some of these little prawns. Let's go with this little guy here. I've got this colour, which is T205. It's a really light sort of pink. And I'm just thinking the underbelly is going to work nicely with that. All right, then I'm going to step up to T212. I'm really loving the vibrancy of these colours. All right, 329, T329. This is just building up our pink layers. I should probably wait for that to dry a bit more, but I'm just going to go in. T346. This is even darker still. I think we're happy with that. So I'm just going to use those 4 colours. And I want to roll those out over all my little prawns. So this is my T205, which we used on our wool underbellies. I'm just going to use that on all the underbellies. And as always, these little Tiny Tales books are just designed to be a quick colour. So I thought it could be fun to use these acrylics. Lots of vibrant colour, nice and quick. This is T212. This is a little bit darker, that mid-tone pink there. I just love the expression on the faces of these little guys. this is T329. If you're following along and you don't have these markers, that's all right. You can just grab whatever markers you've got. You colour match as best you can. Not going to go too far wrong. All right, this is T346. And I start with the first one we did, so we can go over it. This is just a little bit darker. I'm going to go under the eyes here. Add some dots, just for fun. just want to add a little bit of pink into this flames. All right, I'm just going to play with a little bit of a darker red, T266. This is a really dark red. And I just want to see what happens if I bring that in. Maybe throw some I don't think I'm going to need much, just a dab here and there. Especially thinking on their tails. This is T2346. Just going to bring that pink back into the legs that I missed down here. All right, T367. Let's just play with that a little bit on the feet. We had those darker dots in. This is T118. I just want that trumpet to be a nice little brass trumpet. All right, T680 is going to be for the material in our piano accordion. And maybe for the strut of our little banjo here. And I think the rest of our piano accordion is going to be a lovely red enamel. think a little bit of red. Our banjo and our banjo skin T303. All right, I'm just going to do the background here. I don't know that I want to use. Oh, maybe I could. I was just wondering about using it. I'm going to use this. This is an alcohol marker. This is called Cashmere Grey. It's a lovely bluish grey. I'm just going to do the whole background. In this Cashmere Grey, and I might come back in with a darker grey and give it some shadows. This is going to be my little barbecue plate. All right, this is a colour called Pastel Icy Grey. Just want to add in a little bit of extra shadow underneath our little prawns. All right, back to our acrylic markers. This is T713. It's one of those little clouds to sort of, little puffs to be standing out. All right, T205. I'm just going to come back in and make all our eyebrows nice and bright. It's fun, the ones that I'd already coloured in, the alcohol markers didn't go over, so they become waterproof and alcohol proof. So that's sort of proof. The other thing with these markers is you can go over plastic, you can go on wood, you can go on all sorts of different mediums, which is pretty amazing. All right, this is T001, which is as close to white as we're going to get. I just want to make sure that their eyes are nice and white. Yeah, let's maybe do a little bit of highlighting. Maybe we need some highlights on the little clouds too. Now this T064, it's like a lovely mustard colour. I just want to get some brass highlights on our little trumpet. All right, it's a colour called T730. Just going to put a little bit of a edge on around our border. You know what, I think we're going to stop there. 10 Pinkish Prawns are dancing on the barbecue. And I just want to have a quick look at our page beneath. So our alcohol markers bled through, but our acrylic markers, well, they didn't bleed through. The other thing is that they didn't really crinkle the paper that much. So that is fun. I love the vibrancy of the colour. I love that you can go over and over and over and you're not going to saturate the colour because it's acrylic. So once it's dry, you can go over the top and it'll be an opaque colour over the top. So these little guys are a heap of fun. Arrtx new acrylic markers. And as long as you shake them, I think the ink's going to keep coming out. They're a fun little tool for a colouring studio, so I'm certainly going to use them again. I love them. Thanks to Arrtx for sending me a box full of them. There's 60 of them. You can see there's lots of fun colours to play with. And as far as colouring a page goes, they work well. You do get some on your fingers, but hey, that's a fun part of it. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed colouring along with me today from Tiny Tales 3. And I'm doing a review of the Arrtx acrylic marker set. If you don't have this page in this book, then you can grab the Colour Club pack from rjhampson.com for April, which includes all of the pages that I'll be colouring in April. And you can join along with us. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for your support. Remember to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. And for now, I'm going to say goodbye, but no doubt I shall see you in another video. Until then,